Radio Raheem here with Chris Eubank Jr. You're on the undercard of Anthony Joshua and Dominic Brazil, but you're one of the stars of this show. When you think about the kind of spotlight that you're getting right now, where do you feel like you are in your career and when you'll be able to headline events like this?
Well, I've headlined a few events in my time already, but after this fight here, this guy is he's an undefeated fighter, but he's not a name. So this is why I'm on the undercard. But after this, we're looking to fight the best in the world in the middleweight division. The Golovkins, Alvarez, your Danny Jacobs, your Billy Joe Saunders, all these guys, they're on my radar now, and they have been for some time. From here on out, we're going to be putting in some real business.
Well, that's what I meant by fights like this, of this caliber, this degree of attention. A Triple G fight, obviously, is what everyone's been talking about. When you match yourself up in your mind against Triple G, where are your advantages?
It's a fighter's job to look at an opponent and pick weaknesses, see flaws, and train to expose those flaws. I believe he's a very hard hitter, very strong. He's a great fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him. But as far as speed, as far as technique and defense, I believe I'm a better man inside the ring than he is. And those are the areas that I've worked on and that I would go into the fight looking to use against him.
Everyone gives him credit for being a heavy-handed fighter. You've proven, if never before, certainly in your last fight, how heavy-handed fighter you are. But neither chin has been tested, or at least that's the way people analyze this matchup. Do you feel like your chin has been tested and that you're able to stand up against a Triple G shot?
I know maybe it hasn't been tested in a fight environment as far as on a world stage, but I've sparred with heavyweights. I know what I can take. I know the type of shots that I've been hit with in training camps, and I know how I've reacted to those shots. And if heavyweights can't knock me out, then Gennady Golovkin can't knock me out. And this is where I get my confidence from. I know that he relies solely on fear factor, mentally scaring opponents before they've even got into the ring. And he relies on his power. I'm not scared of his power. And I know that if he hits me with something, I'm going to hit him with 3 of what I've got. So if you do the math, how can he beat me? That's what I go into. That's why I will go into the ring believing in my mind.
A lot of people on the other side of the pond think that maybe you're rushing into this fight. Not that it's not a good matchup, but that maybe a Saunders fight would make more sense for you. When you look back at the one loss in your career, is that something you feel you need to avenge, or is it something you're already over and ready to move on?
I will never be over that loss. No fighter will ever, you can't lose an undefeated record against somebody and then just get over it. You have to avenge that loss, and I will avenge the loss. Unfortunately, the last few times we've tried to make that match up for whatever reasons, due to contracts, politics, business, the fight hasn't been able to come to fruition. So now, we're looking to fight the number 1 middleweight in the world in Gennady Golovkin. And after I take that scalp, then Saunders has no option but to fight me, because I'll be in the driving seat. Right now, I'm a name, but there's not as much. We don't have as much pull. Mr. GGG has the title of pound for pound, so he has a lot of say in what he can do and what he can't do. So once you're at that level, then you can dictate. Fight Gennady Golovkin, do what I know I can do what I believe I can do, and then clean up the rest of the division.
Do you feel like experience is at all a factor in this fight? I mean, you've got enough pull to probably bring Triple G over here. He's probably going to fight here in London. Eddie says the fight's almost made. Do you feel like you're really close to this fight? How close are you? And is it having the fight here in London an equalizer?
As far as I know, we're very close. What I'm hearing from Eddie is that talks are going well, and there is an interest for the fight to happen here in the UK, which is, great for British boxing. And that's what we want. We want to put on the best fights, in the best venues, and it's for the fans and it's for my legacy. I've paid my dues. I've climbed the ranks. I'm highly ranked in most of the governing bodies in the middleweight division, and it's my time.
what people aren't looking at or saying is, Triple G's not a young guy. Yes, he's got experience. He's been in the spotlight for quite a while now. He's bringing in all these middleweight titles. But you're young and you're confident. How much do you think the youth is a factor in this fight? And can you best him on that grounds and best his experience by doing so?
I mean, I don't know about age, but I know that as far as energy, fire, hunger, grit, and determination, he hasn't got anything on me. Like you said, he's done everything he needed to do. He's had his career. I've still got so much to prove to myself and to the world, and that fire, it's not going to be put out.
If you're able to be successful in this fight, the Triple G fight, let's say it's made, it happens here, and you win, how much does it mean to you and these British fans of yours to be on that kind of rocket ship? That will propel you directly into superstardom in this sport.
For sure, and it's something I've been dreaming of my entire career, to become a world champion, and then if I can do that against, the so-called best in the world, that's history right there, man. And that's what I joined the sport to do, to make history.
We know that the Eubank camp is a family affair. Everybody has a role. Your father, when you talked to him about this fight being such a pivotal fight, such a huge fight in your career, if it's made, what was his advice to you? How does he see this fight with Triple G?
He believes in me, as any father should believe in his son. He's guided me throughout my entire career, and he's 100% behind me. So together we're going to take this monster down.
And lastly, both of you guys being heavy-handed punchers, knowing what happened in your last fight, and being so young, is this the kind of experience that makes you hungry in the ring, knowing that you can do that to someone? Not that it's a joyous thing to do, but it can either give a fighter pause and make him cautious, or sometimes it can make a guy even more vicious. How do you feel that an experience like that has affected you? It's made me more determined. Now I know what can really happen to somebody in the ring when they're not prepared, or when they're less prepared than their opponent. And for those reasons, I've upped everything. I've upped my training, my lifestyle, even my diet, because I can't afford for anything like that to happen to me. I've got too much to try and achieve in my career. I've got too many goals. So however much of an animal you guys thought I was in my last fight, that's nothing on what I'm going to be bringing in my future fights. And with that said, Triple G, inside or outside fight, you going to try to outbox him, or do you stand in the pocket and try to knock him out?
With this type of fight, Gennady Golovkin being with the experience, it's one of those things where we're going to cook him. Game plans are not, you get in there and you do what you need to do to win. Search and destroy.
That's right. We hear Senior on the outside there. He can't wait for the fight. He's chiming in. We hope to see it. Everybody's looking forward to it, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing you in the ring Saturday night. Anthony Joshua takes on Dominic Brazil. You'll see Chris Eubank Jr. on the undercard. It's a pleasure to talk to you, man. Thanks for the time. Radio Raheem, Chris Eubank Jr.